The first thing you're going to want to do is get a drill, and we're going to basically take the box off of the pallet. So just get a basic drill with a Phillips screwdriver. I believe there is 6 or 8 screws, leg screws that are in the box. Basically just take those screws out and you're ready to take the box off. Okay, now that we have all of the screws out, it helps if you have another person, and now you can lift the box off of the unit. So just lift it straight up and just set the box to the side. Now that we have the box off, we're going to grab a pair of tin snips and we're going to take the straps off. So just cut those off, remove those. Once those are off, the last thing to take off are the 4 leg bolts. I believe the heads on the leg bolts are 9/16. So you can remove these. There's one here and one here in the front, and then 2 in the back. So we're going to remove these, and then we're going to take the sandblaster off of the pallet. All 4 leg bolts out. What we're going to do is we are going to shimmy the CrystalBlast to the front of the pallet. You're going to want 2 people to do this. It's about a 500-pound machine. So we're going to shimmy it off of the pallet. We're going to tilt it off of the machine and then get it off the pallet. I've got somebody obviously here to help me to get this off. So what we're going to do is take the machine, shimmy it to the front, and then you want to get that. Have one person tilt it, hold the machine, and have the other person take off the pallet. And now you can basically place your CrystalBlast anywhere you want it to in your facility. If it's going to go up against a back wall, just make sure you've got 6 to 10 inches in between the wall and the dust collector. But other than that, place your machine where you want. Now that we have the CrystalBlast off of the pallet, you're going to have some components on the inside of the cabinet. So open the door, and first thing you're going to have is you're going to have some latex gloves, which you can use. You can choose to use when you're sandblasting or not. It's completely up to you. But you have a full box of those. The next thing that you have is the armrest. So just take an X-Acto knife, take your armrest out. Place that. This just goes into the front of the machine. There's your armrest. You also get your CrystalBlast manual, and I suggest that when you do get your CrystalBlast unit, take the manual out, read it, and the other thing that you will have in there is your actual foot pedal, okay? And this operates your machine when you're ready to, when you have everything else hooked up. Your foot pedal starts and stops your sandblasting. So take the foot pedal out. You have a longer line, and then you have a shorter line. When you set the foot pedal up, it's going to be tagged here with some little straps. You can either cut those off or not. The shorter hose goes to your abrasive pinch valve, which is the blue valve down here to the left of the pressure pot. Plug that in to the filter element. And the longer hose goes up here right behind your regulator. Okay, there's a little white pisco that sticks out here. It's the only one that is bare. So just apply that and make sure you push those in so they're in tight, so if you pull on them, they cannot come back out. Okay, so just make sure that those are in. The next thing you're going to want to do is get a 1/4 inch quick disconnect coupler. Get some Teflon tape, and you are going to install that in the back of the regulator here. And what that is for your air compressor. Your line from your air compressor is going to connect to that, so you can feed your machine to it. The first feature we have here is your on-off switch on the right-hand side of the CrystalBlast. This turns your unit on and off. Once you turn it on, it will turn on your dust collector as well as illuminate the lights on the inside of the cabinet. Down here are basically your pressurizing and depressurizing features. This is a three-way valve, and the yellow handle is where you're going to pressurize your pressure pot when you're ready to sandblast. If the handle is pointed straight up to the sky, the pot is depressurized. You may have a reading on your regulator gauge that says that there is air in the pot, but there is not. There's a pressure relief valve when you go to pressurize the pot that basically takes all of the pressure that is in the pressure pot and it extrudes it into the cabinet. To pressurize the machine, you're going to pull the lever straight down so it's sticking out towards you. You will notice that your pressure gauge on your regulator will then go up to your desired blasting pressure. Okay? If you want to change, increase, or decrease your blasting pressure, there is a black knob on the top of your regulator. What you can do is you can pull that up until you hear it snap. If you turn it counterclockwise, that will decrease your blasting pressure. If you turn it clockwise, it will increase it. Generally, with most of our photoresist films, you're going to be blasting between 20 to 40 psi, depending on which films you are using. The next feature is the foot pedal. When you push the foot pedal, abrasive and air are going to be shot out of your nozzle. When you take your foot off of the foot pedal, your sandblasting will stop. Okay. The blue valve down here, this is your abrasive pinch valve. What is in here is a rubber pinch valve bladder. When you have your air connected to your sandblaster and you're not sandblasting, you're going to have a maximum of 125 psi, anywhere from 110 to 125 psi coming from your air compressor to your CrystalBlast unit. Okay? When you are not blasting, that 125 psi is going to travel through your foot pedal to your pinch valve, and what initially that's going to do, it's going to keep that pinch valve bladder closed so no abrasive or no air can pass it. When you hit the foot pedal, you're going to release that air and it's going to open up your pinch valve, which allows you to sandblast. One of the other features, when you first pour your abrasive in, or if you're out of abrasive and you need to refill your pressure pot, you are going to depressurize the pot with that yellow lever that we talked about earlier, and you are going to push in the black ball valve on the front of the CrystalBlast. What this does is it opens up the filter on the seal between your pressure pot and your cabinet, and it drops your abrasive down into your pressure pot. Hold this in for about 15 to 25 seconds to drop the abrasive back down. Let it out, repressurize your machine, and you can continue to blast. Okay? Everything that you need to do on the front of your CrystalBlast unit, you can do from sitting down in front of it.